Content creators screw up, and so will you. How do I know that? Because I myself am a content creator. I'm Angela Brown, and this is my journey recovering from burnout. And I'm taking you step by step, day by day, to share with you the pros and cons of what I'm trying and seeing if I can establish a formula so that I can use it again and again and again for now and future recoveries from burnout. And why do I say future recoveries from burnout? Because as a content creator every single day for 7 years, I have burned out a multiplicity of times. And the awareness is it's going to happen again and again. We live as humans in ebbs and flows. And so what happens when you screw up and you're just down on yourself and you feel like, I goofed? How do you bounce back from that? All right, so that's today's conversation. And I want to start out by saying the best thing to do in a situation where you've screwed up in your business is to give yourself grace. And I say grace because we are human. And if there's a message I want to leave with you, it's two things. Number one, you matter. And number two, you are enough. And so oftentimes as content creators, we keep trying to prove a whole bunch of stuff to other people. And what I want you to do during the recovery process is to give yourself some grace. So this last weekend, I was working on filing a last minute amendment to my taxes. This is like the tax extension cutoff. And here I am at the last minute, meeting with the accountant, trying to figure out some of the last minute stuff. And it's a time for me to stop and reflect as I look item by item at each purchase and say, did I really need this for my business? Why is this person still on my staff? Things like that. And so I worked way, way, way into the night. And I had to start making some decisions. Now, what types of screw ups am I talking about? I'm talking about little tiny minute screw ups where you can jump back on track. I'm not talking about you went out and murdered someone and then that was like something that you could never change, right? We make choices in our lives and some of them you can't go back from. And I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the little ones like I'm staying up too late tonight, which means I'm going to miss tomorrow morning's workout. Okay. I'm talking about the little ones. Got to clarify that. So there I was at 1 o'clock in the morning and saying to myself, I'm going to have to say no to something else. And as a content creator, here's the key. For everything you say yes to, you're going to have to say no to something else. You cannot do it all. It's impossible. So there I was saying, if I say yes to doing the taxes right now and committing to finishing this before the last of the last minute deadlines, I'm going to have to say no to tomorrow morning's workout, which is this morning. Okay. So I gave myself permission yesterday to screw up. I'm screwing up. I'm not going to get tomorrow morning's workout in, which means if I'm dedicated to the recovery process, I'm going to have to fit that in today, sometime during the day. And most likely when I'm on the telephone with my mom during our scheduled conversation later this afternoon. Okay. So it will happen, but it did not happen this morning. Okay. So when you find yourself in a situation, the answer to the question, when you start getting stressed out, like, oh no, I'm crunching in on deadlines and something's about to give. I learned this from Dr. Daniel Amen, who is a world famous brain specialist. And he does scans of people's brains and he helps them overcome lethargy and brain fog and things like that. And one of the things that he tells his patients is it's a simple 2 words, then what? Then what? Then what? So if you're in a situation and you feel your stress starting to rise, you say to yourself, then what? If this happens, then what? So last night, I'm sitting there trying to finish the taxes with the accountant. And I say, if I miss tomorrow morning's workout, then what? Well, the world doesn't explode or anything. It's not the end of the world. No one hates me as a result of it. I don't lose any clients or customers as a result of it. My friends at the Y might say, hey, where's Angela today? But that's it, right? Nothing really bad happens. So I'm going to give myself grace and I'm going to say, I matter enough. I matter enough that when tomorrow morning comes and it's time for me to pop out of bed and go to the gym, I'm going to sleep in instead and give myself a little bit of extra sleep. Because today, which is Monday, today is day 8 and I'm reporting on day 7. Today on day 8, I do have a 1 hour live stream with a specialist for the turnover cleaning industry for Airbnbs. And so I want to make sure that I'm on my A game. And so if that's the case, if I say yes to an extra hour of sleep, I'm going to have to say no to the workout in the morning. right? So yes to the taxes last night, yes to an extra hour of sleep, no to this morning's workout. And so when content creators screw up, what the question is how do you bounce back from that? The first thing is to give yourself permission that it's not the end of the world. Say, then what? And walk yourself through the scenario. Then what happens? And if I do get up early after 2 hours of sleep and I go to the gym, then what? Well, then I'm going to be cranky and grumpy and I'm going to forget what I'm supposed to say while I'm on a live stream and all those things, right? Then what? And if you walk yourself through those steps, oftentimes it will help you come to the most logical, common sense conclusion. And as content creators, we know we have common sense, right? Sometimes we don't act like we do, but we do, right? God-given gift, common sense. So let's use it, and it's free. So one of the things that I want you to be aware of is everything you do through the course of the day will be a then what situation. If I do this right now, then what? And we're going to start thinking in terms of templates. And that's tomorrow's topic is templates. And how do we start automating what we're doing so that we don't find ourselves in situations where we're reinventing the wheel every single day. And I say reinventing the wheel. If you wake up every day and you have to reinvent, what am I going to wear today? And a lot of content creators fall in this trap where they have to get up every day and then because they're a fashion consultant or something online, they have to discover what they're going to wear, how they're going to do their makeup, how their hair is going to be different than yesterday, what different color fingernail polish are they going to have, all the things. And it's exhausting to try to reinvent that wheel every single day. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start templating and streamlining all of the processes that are behind the scenes so that when you show up to be whoever you are to your audience, that those decisions are not made in a state of exhaustion and fatigue, if you will. So give yourself a little bit of grace. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. And I want you to remember as you go through the process that it's okay for you to be human. No one's expecting you to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to be human. And humans have ebbs and flows and up days and down days. And they have days where they have to make decisions that are tough decisions. Every single day, you have to make tough decisions. So we're going to help you conserve all of your energy so that even in burnout mode, you can make the best of those decisions. All right, I want to give you a quick wrap on yesterday and the end of week one. Week one on my recovery from burnout. I had a really, really interesting week. Okay, so the first thing is my sleep. The sleep that I got last night was 5 hours and 11 minutes. And I know I had to make some conscious decisions, but what is cool is this. I'm up from last week. Last week, this time I got 3.5 hours of sleep. And then during the week, I really focused on getting more sleep during the week. And I went to 5 to 6 hours every single night. So just in 1 week's time, I got an extra hour or two every single night of the week. And I'm going to call that a win. That's fantastic. All right. The next thing is the hydration. And I've been really keen on drinking my apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, and then also my water, which is I drank 122 ounces of water yesterday. Now I'm guilty because I went to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's a hibachi grill buffet where they have grilled vegetables, and I had some soy sauce and for my sushi. And don't ask me why, but it's super salty and it made me really thirsty. So I drank a lot yesterday. Speaking of drinking a lot, I intermittent fasted all the way yesterday for 18 hours. And then yesterday was our fun meal of the week. Now, we haven't talked about the fun meal of the week, but if I fast all during the week and I fasted for 72 hours at the first of the week, then I fasted all the rest of the week, 20 hours a day, and then I ate during a 4-hour window. On Sunday, which is the nourishment, we have what we call a fun meal. And there's one fun meal a week. And what we do is we go out to a restaurant. It can be any restaurant. And this is me and my family. We eat whatever we want with no judgments, and we don't count the calories. So I didn't count the calories. I didn't take pictures of the food. I didn't scan the items of the food and try to figure out how many calories. I didn't do any of that yesterday on the fun meal. And the fun meal is kind of to say, hey, I did good all week, and now I'm having all the things I really love and enjoy without the guilt. And so what that means is when you go out, you just have whatever you want, have as much of it as you want, and then you get back on track. And that prevents us from having that meal at home and then buying like a tub of ice cream, and then there's leftover ice cream in the fridge, which tempts us all week. or buying things where you're like, oh, there's still leftovers. I guess I'll just heat it up and have it as my meal or whatever. And then you're still eating all that stuff throughout the week. So if we don't bring it home and we don't buy it, we're not paying for the groceries of all those fun things. We're not buying anything that's in a can, a bag, or a box because of all the preservatives. We're just going out and having that one meal and then coming back and getting on track. Okay. And one of the cool things about the intermittent fasting that I've learned in 1 week is this. It's easy to say when you're on a new program, oh, I screwed up. I'm human. So I'll start the new program tomorrow. That's not how it works with fasting. The fasting starts when you take the last bite of your last meal for the day. And so that's when the new day starts. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts like right now. And so the cool thing is when we goof as content creators, instead of saying, well, I screwed up today, I'll do better tomorrow, we say, I screwed up today, I'm going to start right now and do better right now. And so we screwed up a minute ago, but right now, moving forward, we're doing great. So on the nourishment, I ate whatever I wanted, but what I wanted was sushi and grilled vegetables. And I had 2 fried egg rolls. So I didn't go all ballistic and have all kinds of desserts and cakes and ice creams and all that stuff. I didn't have all that stuff. And I didn't have a lot of fried foods. I had all grilled vegetables and sushi. And I had 2 fried egg rolls, and I had some soy sauce. So not so bad. The struggle is coming up, and I'll tell you about that. My workout, I did not work out yesterday. I squeaked in at 7,000 steps. I didn't even go walking yesterday. It was a tax day all day, and there was no extra anything except a quick jump out so I could go grab some food. So that was my workout. I got to get back on track today because now I've gone 2 days with no workout. That's Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so my mood is pretty good. I'm in a pretty good mood today, despite the fact that I went skinny on sleep. I still got 5 hours, but I stayed up way too late. And last night at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was getting a little bit grumpy. And I'm like, don't say anything you will regret, right? Because my mood was kind of slipping because I was so tired. And that's how I am when I'm tired. I kind of get grumpy. So the impact that it had on my business, and I'm going to talk about the whole week last week. I had a great week. I had one of the most productive weeks that I've had in months. And even though I'm recovering from burnout, I had a spectacular week last week, and I got a lot of stuff done. I created a lot of new stuff. We took on a couple of new clients. I fulfilled a lot of my promises, and I'm really excited about what happened last week in my business. So I'm going to give last week a thumbs up. Okay, so and I just talked about the moods. I want to talk about the challenges for a minute. As content creators, we have challenges that have to be addressed, because if we don't address those challenges, then we're right back where we were before. So one of the challenges that I had as a content creator is I had to make a couple of decisions to end some business relationships last week with some of our vendors. So that was kind of a tough situation. The taxes are a tough situation for me because I'm not a money person. And so my husband, who is our finance person, looks at all the stuff and then gives me like a note. Are we using this piece of software? And so we started putting tracking software on all of our computers for all of the team members so that we could see what pieces of software we're using and how much of the software. And we had to cut some of the software out because we're using them literally for like 4 minutes a week. We have other pieces of software that will do whatever that software was doing for 4 minutes a week. And that's over a couple months of watching. There's no sense paying for software we're not using. And that's a license on every computer for every piece of software. So there are ways we can cut that. It's kind of a challenge. And I don't enjoy the money part of it, sitting down looking at numbers. That's not fun for me, but I had to do it. Another challenge that I'm dealing with is there are people in the business that don't think the way that I do. And so sometimes when I ask them to do something or there's something on their to-do list, they're going to try to come to the same conclusion, but do it in their own way. And that's a challenge for me sometimes because I'm looking for something in a certain file folder, which is my way. Here's how I do this. When I go to find something, it's not there. It exists and it's in their file folder doing it their way. And I have to be compassionate and kind to their way of thinking and productivity, but their way is not my way. And so I find myself tripping over myself saying, where is this? And then wasting time hunting them down and texting them on the weekend going, how do I find this when there should be a system for that? So I'm hoping this week we can streamline that system so that I'm not tripping over myself trying to find stuff and waste time that unnecessarily. All right, so the next thing, and this is an exciting update. This is my progress for the week. So my progress for the week, and one of the things that we're focusing on is menopause. I don't have any solutions yet for menopause, but I started taking some vitamins that are over-the-counter supplements that are supposed to regulate the hormones that I'm experiencing. And so I'm hoping that that makes a huge bit of difference. As far as my knee surgery goes, I'm running around now and I'm feeling so much better just with a week of working out every day at the gym. And they were hard workouts at the gym. I was burning 2,200 calories a day just in a 50 to 55-minute workout a day. So I can feel that even in a week, I'm bouncing back. But I'm running up and down the stairs and I'm feeling really good. As far as the weight loss, I dropped 10 pounds from the beginning of the week. And we went through this the other day, but I dropped 10 pounds. And then when I went to the all-you-can-eat buffet yesterday, I gained some of it back. So I started the week out at 161. Yesterday, when I jumped on the scale, I was 154. So I lost all the way down to 147, and then I bounced back to 154. I got on the scale this morning down to 149 again. So I know that it was just kind of a temporary thing. But what I'm trying to do is reset my new norm. And so I want to highlight the fact that as we go through the process, we're going to have to make, like I say, some tough decisions. And that's, am I only going to fast, or am I going to fast and have a fun meal during the week? What is the process? And so as I ate again, my body's like, whoa, wait a second. She's tricking us. She never ate for a long period of time and she's not going to eat again. And I think it tried to store every single thing that I ate. And now I'm going to go back to the fasting again, and we'll go back to the regular routine. So somewhere in the balance, my body will go, oh, she's going to feed us eventually. We just don't have to store every little tiny thing that she eats, right? So I think that's kind of where I am. So today I'm back to 149, which is in a whole entire week from last week. I dropped a total of about 11 pounds. So that's kind of where I am. And that's going down and up and down and up and down and up, but in that week. Okay. So that's kind of where I'm starting this week. All right. So the next thing is I want you to follow me if you haven't already. I'm over at lifelongproductions.com/burnout, where I'm keeping track of every single day that everything that I'm doing on my journey from recovery back from burnout. And then also I want to give a shout out to Lifelong Productions. Lifelongproductions.com is the best and the brightest minds in content creation. Right now, they're on a journey to help you become the best version of yourself. Doing that by helping you get the projects that you've started, finished and published and monetized. Lots of us start projects. We start building a website and then don't know what to do with it. And so the website is in half creation mode. We don't have anything for sale. We don't know how to sell stuff. We've never sold anything. We've never done any online selling. We don't know how to write the ads. We don't know who to talk to. We don't have any database of followers. And so we don't have an email list or any of those things. So if you're trying to create an email list and an online store and all of that stuff, come on over to lifelongproductions.com. We can help you do that. So I'm really excited that they're sponsoring this particular journey of mine, because it gives me a place to learn as well. Like I'm learning all the different avenues of like putting together my blog for the day and then updating that. And what does that look like? And how does that appear on the front end? And so I'm learning a whole bunch of technology stuff as well as I'm sharing it with you. So we're learning this together. Hey, hooray, how cool is that, right? I'm super excited about the fun stuff we're learning together. All right, so that's it for today. I'm going to let you get back to your day because I do respect your time. I do want to leave you with two things. Number one, you matter. And number two, you are enough.